Hello and welcome to the Citi Newsroom. I'm Frema Edunyame.
And I am Michael Obodu. Coming up.
Family members of Georgina Aso-Butche, the prospective nursing student who was killed in a residential apartment at Sikafambantem, a suburb of Mankasim, vow to use all necessary means to get justice for their relative.
Also coming up, meeting between organized labor and the government over negotiations for an increase in single spine salary structure ends in another stalemate.
So far, they've been explaining things to us. We are also explaining things to them. Well, we are still negotiating. So when we finish, you get the end.
Minority in Parliament accuses government of deliberately running down the Saglemi housing project to sell it off cheap.
I can prophesy to you today that this is going to be sold to a family member. This is going to be sold to a friend. This is going to be sold to a business that is close to these guys in power who are saying that it's a fair project.
And later, key stakeholders highlight the expectations ahead of Budget Day on Thursday.
It's too much to expect that one budget cycle will achieve a lot. But at the very least, we want the budget to give a signal in terms of the direction we'll be going.
Now let's start from Parliament, where the Minority Caucus has accused government of deliberately running down the Saglemi housing project only to sell it off cheaply to its cronies. The Works and Housing Ministry announced plans of handing over the project to private developers for refurbishment and subsequent sale.
During a visit to the project site by Parliament's Works and Housing Committee, however, Nkoranza South MP Emmanuel Kojoa Jekum accused government of mismanaging the project and causing financial loss to the state in the process.
The Saglemi housing project, which began in 2012 under the NDC government, could not materialize due to allegations of embezzlement of funds. The government says of the 1,500 out of 5,000 units, it requires additional $46 million for water, electricity supply, and also construct storm drains to make the place habitable. The Minister for Works and Housing, in a press briefing on Sunday, November 13, announced that the government intends to sell the project to a private developer for refurbishment and sale to potential owners. During a visit to the site on Tuesday, November 22, 2022, by the minority members on the Works and Housing Committee of Parliament, the group accused the government of deliberately abandoning the project for onward sale to cronies.
If you go in there, you could see that electrical fittings were fit. The telephone cables were fit. WCs, everything, almost everything. I have evidence here and you have seen it yourself. It's just a matter of somebody trying to run it down so they can pay cheap. They can organize with their cronies to be able to get it cheap. And trust me, I can prophesy to you today that this is going to be sold to a family member. This is going to be sold to a friend. This is going to be sold to a business that is close to these guys in power who are saying that it's a failed project. I'm telling you, if it's a project is 90% complete, if I have cables fixed, if I have sockets fixed, if I have a tiling system done, if I have a sewage system done, what else do I need? I can move into a building and make myself comfortable. I am saying that this place is more organized than most of the communities I have seen in this country, because I have not seen double lanes, even in Trasaco, double lanes. I haven't seen dual carriage. In fact, this one lane here can take 3 vehicles. One lane. You could see the vegetation here. Everything is perfectly done. And for you to be able to remove, you see the way the cables are cut off, you need professionals to be able to cut this cable. It's not about any ordinary thief moving around to say that I'm going in to go and steal. I'm telling you, even removing the windows, it will take them more than 1 month to remove all the windows here, all the burglar proof. Let me mention things to you. The security gates here were fixed and it has been removed. So count the number of security gates or doors here that were removed. How many articulator trucks will be able to move it out? Where was it sent to? Where was it sold? Plus the burglar proofs here. These are aluminium ones. How was it removed? Where was it taken to? How many articulator trucks drove in here to come and pick it out?
The group cautioned private developers to desist from investing in the housing units because the next NDC government will abrogate the contract.
The minority in parliament, we are stating our position clear that we wouldn't want any private developer to come in at all. In 2015, we are very, very optimistic that NDC will form the next government in 2025. So any private developer that will partner the government to complete this project, the project will be taken away from you because it should remain affordable and the mortgage system should go to workers of Ghana. I know the military and other government agents, even parliament. I tell you, members of parliament will be very, very happy to live around this place. The environment is so serene. So we came around for you to know that this government has neglected, it caused so much financial loss to the state, to the people of Ghana, because you are taking shots of what has happened here as to whether it was even organized by the government, so that once we see the level of deterioration, that will give them the energy and the confidence to tell Ghanaians that the project is failed so that they can sell it to themselves. But at least we have seen it. There's still a way out. I know some people are even calling for censorship.
During proceedings in Parliament on Tuesday, the government, represented by the Finance Minister, presented a loan agreement with the World Bank for an amount of over $60 million as a third additional financing for the COVID-19 Emergency Preparedness and Response Project.
The Honourable Lady, the Deputy Minister for Finance, to present the agreement for and on behalf of the Minister for Finance.
Financing agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Finance, and the International Development Association of the World Bank Group for an amount of $6,600,000.
Can you take it over again?
$60,600,000 United States dollars as a third additional financing for the Ghana COVID-19 Emergency Preparedness and Response Project.
Honourable members, the financing agreement is laid accordingly and referred to the Committee on Finance for consideration and report to the House.
The minority also reintroduced a vote of censure motion against the Health Minister, Kwekwajiman Menu, in the order paper of Parliament. Reporting from Parliament, my name is Ni Ayikwe Okain for Citi News.
Now, still in Parliament, the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, will on Thursday present to the House what is considered to be a critical budget of the incumbent government. Now, this is because the 2023 budget and economic policy is being presented at a time when Ghana is experiencing one of its worst economic crises and seeking support from the International Monetary Fund. For many, one of the major highlights of the budget will be that it must bring restoration to the economy. In this report, Netele Nete highlights the expectations of some key stakeholders ahead of the reading.
The presentation of the 2023 budget by the Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, comes as Ghana engages the International Monetary Fund, IMF, for balance of payment support. It's no doubt that the economy has performed poorly this year, Prices of fuel, goods and services have spiraled out of control in the last few months, which has led to a high cost of living for majority of Ghanaians. There has also been a continuous increase in the country's inflation rate. Though the Bank of Ghana was hopeful of a positive economic situation for 2022 by setting the inflation target for the year at 8 ±2, there seems to be no hope in sight. Inflation figures have been trending upwards from 13.9% in January to 40.4% as of October 2022. Though the Bank of Ghana has instituted a number of measures to stem the situation, economist Dr. Patrick Isuming is expecting more to be done on the fiscal side.
One of the key economic indicators of the country is inflation. Since the beginning of the year, it's been rising continuously, and there's even reached 40.4%. But we also know that as part of efforts to curb it, the Bank of Ghana has played a big role by putting in certain measures, increasing the monetary policy rate over and over again. And it's still increasing. We've not seen government do much in terms of fiscal. To curb it, we need to see both from the monetary and the fiscal side. But we've not seen much from government in terms of curbing inflation. As the finance minister will be reading the budget on Thursday, what would you be looking out for in terms of fiscal policies to help curb inflation?
Our current bout of inflation, earlier on, this bout actually started right about, September last year. Well, it did start maybe June last year, but it was a little bit gradual. And you realize that when it started, it was primarily driven by food inflation. Food inflation has continued to rise, and in the last few months, the rapid depreciation of the currency has added to it. So you see that the inflation on imported items has now outstripped the domestic one. So in terms of, there are two things. We need to address the currency depreciation, but we also need to address the bottlenecks with food production. So even though there are difficult times in terms of government spending, we still need to continue the investment in agriculture. The planting for food and jobs hasn't worked as well as we were told that it was working. And this year, we know that we've suffered with fertilizer production. So I hope that we do see some activity around the fertilizer side.
Currently, the country's revenue projections are underperforming, while high debt levels and high expenditure continues to pose a lot of problems. Total revenue for 2022 was projected at 100 billion Ghana cedis compared to a revised revenue budget of 72 billion Ghana cedis in 2021, representing a 39% increase in projected revenue. However, in the media budget, government revised the figures. It had a total revenue target of 96.8 billion Ghana cedis, while expenditure was set at 135.7 billion Ghana cedis, bringing the overall balance to 38.9 billion Ghana cedis. According to the 2022 media budget presentation, some revisions in government's fiscal operations are expected to reduce the fiscal deficit on cash basis to 38,900 million Ghana cedis, or 6.6% of revised GDP, up from the 2022 budget deficit target of 37,000 million Ghana cedis. Although the deficit is expected to be financed from both foreign and domestic sources, domestic financing will be the key driver while government works to regain external market access. But Dr. Patrick Isuming said he would like to see a faster pace of fiscal consolidation.
There's been a lot of clamoring for government to rein in its expenditures. It's an easy thing to say. It's kind of difficult to implement. I think, first, we shouldn't see government expenditure growing as much year on year as we have seen in the past. At the very minimum, the government should try to probably keep expenditures very close to last year's target levels. But what would be good is to spend more efficiently from the public sector side. By way of reducing the levels of leakages. We every year when we hear Auditor General's report, we do see it just gives us some hints the extent of leakages that are going through the system. So we expect that the government will implement programs to seal some of the loopholes. We've been cleaning up the payroll for a while now. So we hope that eventually ghosts will vanish from the payroll. But I think, the other thing that government should do to signal is, I personally think government should cut a lot of the pegs.
For the Institute of Economic Affairs, IEA, Director of Research, Dr. John Kwach, is calling for an aggressive revenue mobilization drive.
There's a lot of tax fraud, corruption that goes on, sometimes through connivance between tax officials and the taxpayers. It goes on a lot. But in Ghana, we see these things, but we turn a blind eye, to it. It's like it's become a culture. Now, there are inefficiencies in the tax system, the tax administration, when it comes to assessments. So we're just asking government to reinforce that agenda.
Expectations are high as government prepares to present the 2023 budget to Ghanaians. For many, this budget must signal the direction in which government intends to take the country in its quest to build back the economy from the hardships it's been experiencing so far. For Citi News, I am Netele Neti Ajaho.
Frustrated family members of Georgina Asobutri, the prospecting nursing student who was killed in a residential apartment at Sikafua Ambantem, a suburb of Mankesim, say they will resort to other means if justice is not served in the matter. Their comments come after the Cape Coast District Court 2 for the 5th time adjourned the case. Central Regional Correspondent Calvin Tete has more in the following report.
This is the 5th time in a row the Cape Coast District Court 2 has adjourned the murder case where Georgina Asobutri, a prospecting nursing student, was killed and buried in a residential apartment at Mankesim in the Central Region. Frustrated family members left the court premises unhappy as their expectations were that the court will begin hearing the matter. The suspects, Tufuhini Nana Onya Clark, Pastor Michael Daku, and the third suspects were all in court, unlike the 4th adjournment where they failed to appear in court. Family members are worried that the constant adjournment of the case may spell doom for them since the suspects may have their way. According to Kate Swansea, an auntie to the deceased who seemed frustrated by the constant adjournment of the case, the deities will judge the matter rightly and will be the last option if the court fails to put the suspects behind bars. Her comment comes after the Cape Coast District Court 2, presided over by Her Worship, Bernice Mensima Akon, for the 5th time adjourned the case again to give the prosecuting team ample time to conclude their investigation. Several family members who thronged the premises of the court were disappointed and frustrated after the adjournment since the substantive case has not begun. Here is Kate Swansea speaking to Citi News about Tuesday's proceedings.
So, Musunyanku Pambato Bosompo, yet the Bosompo, which also done who couldn't face the car. You want to face the car. Yet the best so one who name if it obine a harbor one, again, and some one. If you go, we never one shot, one shot, some no one can. No one day. Obino ya and count on when you can walk at some fine. Yet no call memo, what one penopal. As some you are physical. What sin won't wear day, looking will wear day. 1 night and 10 oh, yet, my family, and yet the man, but on your couple, yet the well, I was way to Celestial. Yet the papa, yet the ages, yes, I come. It's a way when you know, yet just when you know the door, on when you know the door. Over 2,000 over. Only the power when you are away. Ona na mepede pay fute. So what's one matter in here yeduma? And Pama, ni is bezu wonechi. I pay one chan. No one shall no bone.
The case has been adjourned to December 15, 2022.
The meeting between organised labour and the government has ended in another stalemate. The meeting was to negotiate a 60% increment in the single spine salary structure for 2023. The public sector workers explained that the daily base pay is lower than the government's newly announced daily minimum wage of 14 cedis, 88 pesos, and insist that they will not back down on the proposed 60%.
Organized labor say the proposed 60% increase in base pay is intended to help workers deal with the rising cost of living as a result of high inflation. In a letter signed by the General Secretary of TUC, Dr. Yalba, and Chairman of the Forum of Public Sector Workers, Isaac Bampoado, organized labor also cites the 15% cost of living allowance granted to the national daily minimum wage as grounds for their proposal. They want the annual base pay on the single spine salary structure for 2023 increased. Last week, there was a meeting between Labour and the government to thrash out the issues, but the meeting ended inconclusively. Subsequently, another meeting was held on Tuesday, November 22, but again, there was no compromise on either side. The various Labour unions present spoke to the media after the meeting.
So far, they've been explaining things to us. We are also explaining things to them. Well, we are still negotiating. So when we finish, we'll get the end result. We have sent our proposals to them, and they want to be at an agreeable zone. But so far, I think the zone we are in is not agreeable.
It is not our fault that the budget will be read without concluding negotiations. We have August 2022. April 2022 to have finished with the negotiations. The law says finish negotiations by April so that November you read your budget. What were you doing all this time? What were you doing? It wasn't our fault that you have not finished concluding negotiations. And it is not our fault whether the budget will be read or not. That one is government's kick.
Before we came in, our members also spoke to us. We are the subjects for discussion by our members when we accepted the 4% and the 7% for 2021 and 2022, thinking that we are all making sacrifices so that the economy will be better. Today, what are we seeing? The sacrifices we made is not bringing out anything, and for that matter, whatever our members are telling us is that if we don't get what they are demanding, we shouldn't come back home. All of us are not safe. Yes, we understand the situation, but who is making the sacrifice for who?
Look at the lives that the ordinary public sector worker is leading and the condition they find themselves in. Unfortunately, through no fault of theirs, because as workers, we go to work and we do what we have to do. And we expect to be rewarded fairly, not necessarily more than what we do, but fairly, to be commensurate with what we do. And we have a life to lead. And what is happening is that workers are gradually and continuously being pushed into the poverty space. And we don't think that that is what we want as citizens of this country and public sector workers.
They have tabled 12%, as we already know, and we are at 60%. So look at the gap. So we will wait and see how it goes. And like I said, looking at all the difficulties we've gone through over the years in terms of not bridging the gap between the minimum wage and the base pay, we are looking at not disappointing the masses down there who are our members and ensuring that we are able to take home something better for all of them.
The labor unions are expected to meet government again on Wednesday, November 23, 2022.
We are dealing with, give and then take. And if you are not coming to add them, automatically we then have to adjourn and come back. But the willingness of both parties to engage, as I keep saying, is there. And you could tell that, yes, they wish that they get a certain amount. And we are also saying that we are also considering lots of things. It will be difficult where they are. We need to calm down. They need to, and then we are not getting meeting minds. That is where we are. I'm sure tomorrow, God willing, we'll be able to have a truce.
Organized Labour say they're not relenting on the 60% that they have tabled before government. They say hopefully Wednesday, 23rd November, another meeting scheduled would hopefully bring this to a finality. For Citi News, my name is Inu Safo.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom, still to come. Some customers of the Electricity Company of Ghana in the Teshie district expressed dissatisfaction with the challenges confronting the company's prepaid vending platforms.
We have the details coming up shortly. Please do stay with us.
It's Fish Festival. The Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development and its partners will hold a fish festival from 24th of November to 25th November 2022. The two-day fish festival will involve a Durbar, exhibition of fishing and aquaculture inputs, fish products, a fish market, as well as panel discussion on topical issues in the sector. The theme for the festival is promoting sustainable fisheries and aquaculture for national development. Venue, the Black Star Square. It's Fish Festival.
Plus is a fully skimmed evaporated milk. Creamy Plus is available in a shop near you.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Please listen carefully. God is speaking to us.
It's that time again. Impact 2022.
Today, we block the delays. We override the delays. We'll celebrate the victory and the trial. Put your cancel every delay tactics of the enemy on the account of the blood of Jesus.
Ministering Apostle Joshua Selman.
God does not speak sympathizing with your current situation. He speaks as touching your destiny.
Pastor Jerry Eze.
I command the power of delay be broken. Let your amen thunder louder.
Reverend Eastwood Anaba.
The time has come for you to stop playing religion and take your destiny in your hand.
Bishop Gregory Toussaint.
Spiritual warfare is first of all a lifestyle. You fight Satan primarily by the way that you live.
Dr. David Entry, Apostle Francina Norman, Prophet Victor Kusibuate, Prophet Ajiman Prempe, introducing Minister Jonathan Rubain. 8 days and 8 nights of power and impact, including a prayer breakfast on Saturday, December 3rd at the Prayer Mountain with Apostle Joshua Selman. Visit linktr.ee/ActionCH for transportation, registration, and prayer breakfast tickets. Impact 2022, Bridging the Gap.
Farmers, this is our season. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, and Ghana Cocoa Board presents the 38th edition of National Farmers' Day celebrations and National Agricultural Fair on the theme Accelerating Agricultural Development Through Value Addition. This is happening at the Jubilee Park, Ofordia in the Eastern Region. Tuesday 29th November, official opening of the National Agricultural Fair. Wednesday 30th November, Regional Day for Eastern Region. Thursday 1st December, ADB Farmers Forum with the climax of a grand derby and award ceremony on Friday 2nd December 2022. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is the special guest of honor. Major sponsors: Government of Ghana, Global Affairs Canada, Agricultural Development Bank, Exim Bank Ghana, Stanbic Bank, and more. Yes, it is National Farmers Day 2022. Ayiko to all farmers and fishers.
Welcome back. Some customers of the Electricity Company of Ghana ECG in the Teshi district have expressed their satisfaction with the challenges confronting the company's prepaid vending platforms. According to the residents, the difficulties with the purchase of prepaid credits are frustrating. Speaking to Citi News, the customers called for a partnership with private service providers to break the power distributors' monopoly. Fred Duho has more in the following report.
A number of ECG customers, essentially the prepaid users, are complaining that they are unable to purchase prepaid credit, and the technical challenges that confronted the Electricity Company of Ghana in the past few months has resurfaced again. And the customers here, numbering over 100, basically struggling to get prepaid to go and restore power to their homes. A number of them are lamenting because they feel this situation would have been resolved long ago. Some of them say they have been without light for a number of days now. We can see that there is a long queue that is winding all the way into the offices of the Teshi District Office of ECG, and the people here are waiting patiently. Some of them are complaining, some of them are lamenting, basically because they feel unhappy about the situation, and they are calling on the authorities to put in some measures quickly to restore power into their various homes. Now, what I am gathering from the Electricity Company of Ghana is that they, in actual fact, have a problem with only two of their prepaid platforms. That is the Alpha and the PNS. And the Alpha, I understand, has been restored so far, and people are able to purchase, but the network is quite slow. Those on the PNS platform, there is this special arrangement to allow the technicians from the Electricity Company of Ghana to follow them when they make payments and issued receipt. They follow these customers into their various homes to restore power to them while they use it off the meter in the meantime, while they wait patiently for the situation to be resolved. Let's speak to some of the customers here.
Since yesterday, my light is off. I've been roaming around all the vendors to search for prepaid to buy, but I did not get. Later, they told me that I should come to the office. I've been here for the past, let me say, 2 hours now. Even I'm going to work. I have called my madam that I'm coming, but I'm still here. I don't know what they are doing inside now. So I don't know what to do. They said they are giving numbers. I'm still holding the number 299. Because I remember the first meters that we were using, we were not joining it. Things were not like this. All of a sudden that they came to change, we are facing these issues. I don't know if this one too is part of the climate change that has happened. I must ask. I don't know. Because I have to sleep in darkness with my kids. I remember the card owner got into this same condition and it changed. All of a sudden, it has reached our 10. And now, see, we are in a queue too. Up to date, we've not seen anything.
For how long have you been here, sir?
I've been standing here for the past an hour and 30 minutes. They said the system, in fact, it really started since 3 days back. and like I've been all over the place. You see, I've been all over the place. I'm coming all the way from fertilizer runabout, and this thing really caused me a lot of discomfort. I'm supposed to be at work, but I find myself standing here at this time. You understand? Standing here at this time, doing what? Because I want credit. If there are other private investors who are involved in distribution of power, we wouldn't be facing this. At least when you go to point A and you can't find lights there, you go to point B, there will be competition.
There are others who are getting fed up under the sun, and basically you can see them getting seated under the canopy right there just to get some shade. And they've been given numbers, waiting patiently to be called in to purchase their prepaid credit.
Because when I came, I was directed to the new card to come here. Those who are using the new card will use this side, and those with the alpha meter will use this one. But then so far I've not seen anybody with the old card here, not yet. Okay. Yes.
For how long have you been without lights actually?
Oh, we've been having light for the past few days now. It's just that we keep monitoring it daily. Okay. So today when we checked, there was around 20 cities, and we decided to come and top up.
We are sorry for a situation like this, but it has happened, and we want to find ways of serving everybody to be satisfied. Kindly wait patiently. We have increased the terminals that we are using to serve inside, so the queue is now moving faster.
I have in my hand one receipt here. The customer's name is on it, the meter number, and she bought actually 70 Ghana cedis. So she's waiting basically for officials or technicians from ECG to follow her into her house to connect her while they work on the PNS platform. So now let's enter into the room to see how the vending is going on. Hello, have you been able to purchase the prepaid?
Yes.
You were able to buy some. How much did you buy?
50 cedis.
Okay, that's good. So some people are able to purchase the prepaid, and we can see that. Mommy, were you able to buy the prepaid? Yeah. Oh, okay. How soon was that?
It's almost 3 hours now. I was here 8 something.
So finally you've gotten prepaid?
That was it.
Oh, good. How much did you buy?
That was 50 cedis.
How long would this one last you?
2 weeks.
We can see that there is some level of orderliness. The people are called one after the other to take their seats, and then they are called upon by the vendors in there, and they are attended to. So you can see the queue is moving, and there is that level of orderliness here where they are ensuring that everybody is getting prepaid one after the other. The problem has been resolved from time to time, except for the PNS platform that we understand the network is still not up yet for the prepaid credit to be vended to the customers. But essentially they are also being issued manual receipts, and they are followed up to their homes to connect them to power while they work on resolving the major issues confronting the network platforms. Those with the alpha prepaid, they are able to purchase prepaid now. My name is Fred Duo, reporting from Teshi District of ECG for Citi News.
Now moving to the seat of government, President Akufo-Addo wants West African leaders to do more to end terrorism in the sub-region. Nana Akufo-Addo says no country is safe until all terror activities are brought to an end. Speaking at the opening of the Heads of States meeting under the Accra Initiative, the President called for more action in ending terrorism. Citi News' Samir Wiafe has more.
Launched in 2017, the Accra Initiative seeks to find lasting solutions to the many terror activities hitting the West African sub-region for years. The Accra Initiative has countries along the coast, including Benin, Ghana, Togo, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, as well as Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, trading ideas on how best to fight jihadists in the region. Opening the one-day summit in Accra, President Akufo-Addo charged leaders within the sub-region to do more to end acts of terrorism.
I say nothing new when I say that West Africa continues to suffer from the effects of the scourge of terrorism and violent extremism, spreading rapidly across the region. Indeed, as recent events continue to render the Sahelian countries of West Africa epicenters of terrorism, we continue to watch in angst how the activities of terrorist and extremist groups have resulted in the unfortunate disregard for the national sovereignty and territorial integrity of our states, the painful deterioration of the strength of our democracies, the wanton displacement of masses of our populations, and the needless loss of considerable numbers of lives. Today, the terrorist groups, emboldened by their apparent success in the region, are seeking new operational grounds, a development that has triggered a southward drift of the menace from the Sahel to coastal West Africa. It was in order to curb the spread of terrorism from the Sahel to coastal states that the Accra Initiative was formed.
In the first quarter of 2022, Africa recorded 346 attacks, almost half of which were recorded in West Africa. Executive Secretary of the Accra Initiative, Benderi, says the initiative has the potential of helping fight terrorism in the sub-region.
At the end of the summit, the heads of states expressed their deep concern for the dramatic expansion of terrorism, violent extremism, and transnational organized crime and transhuman consequences in the Accra Initiative countries. Expressed their sympathy and full support to the member states and their populations who face violent extremism and terrorism on a daily basis. Took note of the commitments by partners to support the Accra Initiative in the fight against terrorism in the sub-region. Reaffirmed their commitment to mobilize the necessary indigenous resources to operationalize within a month the multinational joint task force of the Accra Initiative. Recommended within the framework of the Accra Initiative that concrete actions, including fundraising, be taken to support the countries severely affected by terrorism.
Former President John Dramani Mahama says that continuous engagement of civil society organizations can help improve the quality of governance in the country. He believes the ideas and views of CSOs can influence the policy processes by injecting fresh breath into policy delivery. There is more in the following report.
The meeting was to afford the former president the opportunity to listen to the perspectives of CSOs on the challenges and possible solutions for governance deficit and economic challenges confronting Ghana. The engagement brought together civil society groups from across the country to participate in the dialogue. Speaking at the event, Mr. Dramani Mahama noted that the Ghana We Want agenda can be attained when policymakers begin to consider the opinions of civil society groups.
We in the NDC hold the view that civic engagements positively shape policy processes by helping to inject fresh breath into policy delivery, ideas, perspectives, and experiences from persons who otherwise are outside the official channels of policy making. Indeed, our country's rich tradition of civic activism can be harnessed continuously to improve the quality of governance. The capacity of our country's CSOs to demonstrate relentless and their readiness to promote good governance and equitable distribution of resources, as well as efficient service delivery, is never been in doubt. It is my hope that this engagement sets in motion a process of regular issues-based engagements, consultations, discussions, and conversations that will provide useful feedback to shape our own policy preferences and positions as we collectively roll up our sleeves to build the Ghana we want.
Some of the civil society groups stressed that the initiative is a step in the right direction. According to them, it is prudent for governments and policymakers to factor their suggestions in the day-to-day running of the country.
Usually when political parties are in opposition, CSOs are their friends. They engage us at every level. We at every point in time they call on us. But the moment we get into government and then you start raising the critical issues, we become adversaries. I think essentially what the former president is trying to find from civil society is what are the three key governance issues that is affecting the country. And I think that they are very, very important questions that he asked. Now, we listed number one, corruption.
I think it's important that this is institutionalized. I suggest that we should have at least a biannual meeting in civil society, and more crucial, is for various ministries to meet with civil society actors who work within their respective spaces before budgets are actually made. It's a very important matter because the finance ministry may not have the resources and the time to exhaust every ministry's needs. It's important that we have meetings all the way down to the various ministries and even departments.
This engagement for us is also another level of, interaction, such that ordinary people like us could also have inputs into what the political divides or, angles also put together as far as their final manifestos or governing documents are concerned.
Former President John Dramani Mahama believes the continuous engagement of civil society organizations will help shape governance in the country. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Philip Ni Latte.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Still ahead. New Patriotic Party NPP officially inaugurates all standing committees of its National Council.
We'll be right back with the details. Do stay.
Listen close. Something is happening. NASCO massive promo has begun. NASCO up to 50% discount is here.
This season, a NASCO massive discount. It's NASCO new promo. What are you waiting for? This season, we are offering massive discounts up to 50%. Yes, on selected items from NASCO.
Call 0242 439 437. NASCO, bring home happiness.
Finally, anyone can become a household.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You Go Flip, a real estate gaming platform that allows you to play and stand a chance of winning a house or cash or consolidated prizes, such as savings towards a house. Simple and easy to play. Visit www.yougoflip.com. Buy a ticket to enter the game. Wait for the end of the game to enjoy the win. Anyone can win. Flip it or own it. You Go Flip. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Play responsibly, not for persons below 18 years, and gaming can be addictive.
Good morning once again, and welcome to another slide into the archives on Memory Bank. This is yours truly, Tony Menka.
An opportunity to prove yourself. What do? Run off?
I'm about to be hit with a 2 million Ghana Cedi lawsuit, and you're telling me I'm asking for too much? You are under arrest.
I didn't rape her. She owes me an apology.
If you want to spread news, you give it to the ladies.
I didn't say you should go and sleep with him.
So what should I go do with him? Sing him a lullaby?
We are giving Uptown FM up to 9 a.m. to retract and apologize.
That's the whole boy. Be crazy. If you can't cause for yourself.
Get out.
You don't fire anybody for you. You go be a press council.
Hello again. The New Patriotic Party, NPP, has officially inaugurated all standing committees of its National Council. The move, according to the party, is in line with measures to further position the party to execute its tasks in preparation ahead of the 2024 elections. Speaking to the media, Party National Chairman Stephen Ntim indicated that he will see to it that the committees work and deliver on their mandate. The following report has more.
The committees inaugurated include the Finance Committee, Constitutional and Legal Committee, Organization Committee, Research Committee, Disciplinary Committee, Communication Committee, and Welfare Committee. These committees, according to the New Patriotic Party, are to ensure that the party is prepared to retain power in the next elections. Speaking during the inauguration, the national chairman of the party, Stephen Ntim, charged the committees to work diligently, stressing that it will not be in his tenure that the party will go into opposition.
We require some regular reporting from each committee to be delivered to the General Secretary for action to be taken. You will agree with me that I spent 20 years in the political wilderness before getting to where I am right now. And I will not become national chairman only to take the party back to opposition. On that note, we have and are committed to identifying where the previous administration left off for us. We are going to strengthen what they did and build upon their accomplishments, because this is a going concern. The political party is a going concern. I don't know when NPP will end. In that regard, I can assure you that when you submit your reports to the General Secretary, he will bring it to the attention of the steering committee and so on and so forth. And we are not going to allow these reports to gather dust on the shelves.
However, the General Secretary of the party, Justin Frimpong Kodia, urged the committees to work diligently since the success of the party stands on their shoulders. He admitted that winning the 2024 elections will be a difficult task as a result of recent economic challenges.
We know that the biggest task that lies ahead is for us to win the elections in 2024. Mr. Chairman, winning the election 2024 will be historical, because in the history of the Fourth Republic, we will be the first political party to have won the election on 3 consecutive terms. And Mr. Chairman, inshallah, it is possible. Mr. Chairman, it is well known that in terms of policies and programs, no political party in this current Ghana can compare itself to the New Patriotic Party. And in spite of all the challenges that we are going through as a country, certainly before the 2024 election, things would have turned and Ghanaians will still have confidence in the New Patriotic Party.
The newly installed chief for the Babijebi clan in the Tatale Sangli in the northern region has urged all persons under his authority to at all times seek peace as a way of ensuring development in the area.
There is more in the flow report by Aminu Alabira.
It was full of excitement at the family house of the newly outlawed chief when his clan men, friends and sympathizers thronged the palace to celebrate his new title. The Babejebe clan in Tatale has been without a chief for many years, and this, according to family members, has affected the growth and development of the clan. The community lacks basic amenities like good roads. The absence of a chief was as a result of some misunderstanding after the funeral of the last chief. At a ceremony to present the chief to the community, the new chief, Uboro Kojotuku Pakpebe II, admonished his people to embrace peace, saying that is the only sure way to ensure development in the area. This was his message, read by his secretary, Peter Indie.
We know with peace, we can develop this our community to the level that we want. And we know that if we are united, there is nothing that will lack in this community. He is trying to do all things that all the developmental things that we lack in this community, to mention a few: potable water, and especially the road that leads to town. It is one of the headaches that the new chief would like to champion, so that we are able to get the road done and get water, so that we can develop our community to the next place that we need to live as people.
The paramount chief of Tatali traditional area, Ubod Garba Yonkoso II, urged all clans in the traditional area to ensure their chiefs are enskined. He said he does not choose chiefs for clans, but allows them to choose their own leaders.
This Babaji clan, they took their leader. He's not the one who gives them a leader. So as they have chosen their leader, they can even destroy their leader. He cannot destroy their leader. And he is also telling the chiefs that as they have given him the power, he shouldn't say that the Babaji people, they are nothing. He should obey their instructions. So the paramount chief is saying that he wants unity for the Basaris, the whole Tetali Sangu, he wants unity.
And that's how we wrap up. You've been watching the Citi Newsroom. We have more news on our website, citinewsroom.com.
Subscribe to Citi Tube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV.
You can also watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. I'm Frema Edunyami.
And I am Michael Obodu. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay safe.
My name is Gina, and this salon is where I work. Good morning to those who speak good English like I do. That's B, assistant madam, always cleaning boss.
Efia, so can't you sweep the place? Do you know what I went through last night? I had to uninstall the whole of the night, but I managed to be here today.
That's Efia. She's in the Guinness Book of World Records for giving the most excuses.
I am not missing any drama today.
Ow! You're burning my scalp!
Baby, I missed that again. No. My family riches. I'm sure they've located the salon.
God bless you. Hey, don't come and prophesy on me. That's Hannah, always acting religious.
I didn't see you on Sunday. I hope it's not about that gentleman. Is he cheating?
If he was just cheating, it wouldn't have been a problem.
He bought that foolish girl a car.
Sometimes you just have to figure out things you are doing or not doing right.
Especially with the bedroom things, maybe you're not doing it right.
Ask God for more spouse.
Akramo is back. Look, today I have hip pad and Botos pad.
You like this? Your Botos is like my pump.
Which part of your body do they want?
I'm Gifty, the owner of this salon.
Good. Now that's our boss.
Hey!
last time the weak cat came to pick. You still